Hi Monique and Ralph, how are you today?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, Matt. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks again for coming in today. So, the purpose of our meeting today is to present our strategy and explain why our strategy is appropriate to your needs from what you identified today. So, if you do have any questions at any point in time, feel free to just stop me and ask me any questions you may have. So,
No worries.
basically, the first part of our statement of advice, personal details. You guys know who you are when you were born. Um, your income, 63, 67, plus your superannuation contributions. The purpose of showing you that is what we've taken into account in our strategy and our statement of advice. So, your current investments are term deposit of 10 grand due to mature in a fortnight at about 10.5% interest. That's still the case.
Yes, that's correct.
Yep, and you've received a cash gift of 40,000, and you need to put a portion of that towards the wedding, and also what you're looking to do is apply that towards a house deposit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you identified another thing was your liabilities and your student loans. So you have about $12,734 dollars there, and the interest rate on that's about 6.5%. So um, with that, that's what we're sort of looking at from an asset liability point of view. Is there anything else there that we should take into account?
No, I think you've really covered everything.
Oh, perfect, perfect. So basically, the you want to what we're trying to achieve today is you want to establish a portfolio and develop your combined wealth, and you want to retire at age 50. And Monique, you'd like to pay off your debt as soon as possible.
That's correct.
Yep, so our scope of advice, what we're going to be looking at in the areas is your superannuation, providing advice in around that, investment advice as well too in regards to your term deposit and building a managed portfolio, estate planning advice as well too. Do you have a current will, when a current will and estate plan in place?
No, I don't.
Yeah, so that was one of the things we want to try and address and tick off, and debt reduction and around the liabilities and that, and what the best strategy is there. So, um, so what we want to try and do is we want to invest, a lump sum into and create a regular savings plan into a managed fund, so make frequent contributions, as well as borrowing to invest towards the house deposit as well. Two, in regards to superannuation and upon the maturity of your term deposit, look at our options of withdrawing that and investing it through a different portfolio to achieve higher, possibly higher returns. So, um, does that all? Any questions in regards to the investment side of things? No.
No.
Personal superannuation. Look, we're looking at retaining your superannuation accounts, consolidating any existing accounts into one to save you on any fees, and combine that balance to achieve a higher growth in the fund as you'll have more funds combined in the pool. We're going to look at making a concessional contribution, so and which will be tax deductible to you as well too. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at rebalancing your portfolio and reviewing your binding death nominations as part of the estate planning side of things, and reviewing, preparing wills, power of attorneys as well too. So, risk profile side of things. Remember that fun questionnaire that you had to take a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, so that basically, the way you answered that, weight view as an aggressive risk profile. So it's basically you've got a bias towards capital growth, and you have little or no need for income at this point in time. You're prepared to accept a high degree of volatility and risk to generate and accumulate those assets over a medium to long term. So you're really going for that capital growth as that as a strategy. Would you say that's still the case?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any questions in regards to that? No?
Well,
Okay. Alright, so superannuation, what we're going to look at doing is we're going to commence a salary sacrifice strategy of $50 a week into your super accounts. Invest your superannuation as per your risk profile, and as you can sort of see there, over a period of time, by making those regular contributions, your balance is going to grow over a period of time. If we're looking at chasing a higher 9% return with your fund in about 10 years time, your balance is up there around about 165. So there's quite good growth in your funds there. So that was just Ralph's fund, and then you take into account Monique's fund also growing to about 125,000 over that period of time, taking in the calculation based off the historical data we've got there. The reason why we've made the recommendation, is based on your risk and return, what you want to create, what your goal is, what you want to get to, and we basically want to expose you to those growth assets and achieve those higher returns to get you closer to your goal of retiring in your early 50s. So there is volatility. We can't guarantee how the markets are going to perform, which may offset that time frame. So you may achieve that goal quicker than in your 50 time frame, or it might be a few years later. So we've just got to stay consistent with that side of things as well too, and keep in mind it is a longer term strategy. So, and with that, we're assuming a growth rate consistently of 9%. Some years it's going to be higher, other years it's going to be lower. Yep. So that's what we're looking at in that scenario there. So we move on to the debt reduction side of things. So from the funds you'd have available from the wedding, you'd identified you're going to do it pretty cheaply. So from the 40, you're going to do it for $3,000.
He's trying.
That's what he's trying to do. That's what you think so. So basically, what we can then do with the additional funds is then pay out the student loan. That then gives us a surplus of about $24,000 as a cash reserve, and that allows you to tick off one of the goals quickly, and it allows you to save about $2,800 in interest as well too, by paying out that particular loan immediately as well too, which you can apply to your investment strategy when we do look at it as a whole. So the next side of the dice with the investment strategy is upon the maturity of your term deposit, your balance would have grown from the 10 to the 11,050, and we recommend that of that you take $4,000 out and put it into a managed fund. They'll give you $7,050 in cash, and combining that with the 24,000 gives you 31 grand to invest. Okay, so with that, I've outlined a couple of different investment options. You identified the car park was one of the ones that you wanted. The car park, if you looked at the cost, 34,000 with the investment yield of 6.8%, you'd be looking at around about an income maybe 13,000. So if you borrowed money in there at a 6% interest rate, you'd have it'd cost you about 1,920 on interest only loan based on that, as that is also a tax deductibility for you as well too. So we don't want to tie up a lot of cash in the car park when we do look at it as an overall side of things. Clearing the student loan and then using the 29,000. So of that balance, we're only tying up a few $1,000s in the car park from an investment. Using the 29,000 to as a house deposit to secure your home, and use the rent payments towards and building equity in that home as well too. So investment loans are tax deductible, so when we do look at it, that's your options there. So The investments from the fund profile, as you can see, the fund profiles I've got there, it is quite a diversified portfolio approach, predominantly looking at the you know, Australian international equities as well too, which are your higher risk type funds. So you can see how they perform there. You can see the breakdown there and the type of sectors that they've invested into. Reason we have recommended those funds is there are underlying assets, and it does give us greater exposure with pooled cash. When you do look at it, if we were to individually try and invest in these funds, the amount of buy sells and everything like that, it wouldn't be suitable to look at it from there. Estate planning, that's pretty straightforward, getting a will in place. So basically when we talk estate planning, that's looking at distribution of your assets upon you passing away. So it's the process of passing on those assets to, as per your wishes, to the beneficiary. So your superannuation was one of the things that we've addressed earlier on by making a binding death nomination. So everything that doesn't obviously fall under superannuation money or things like that falls under your estate planning side of things. So power of attorney is basically someone who can act on your behalf if you're incapacitated and you cannot do so.
Yep.
So that's in a nutshell what that is. So in regards to your loans and also the estate planning side of things, we recommend that obviously you sit down with people that are suitably qualified, so a qualified mortgage broker, and you sit down with an estate planning specialist as well too, to complete those sides of things to make sure we're ticking all the right boxes. So that is in a nutshell what we're talking about overall in our strategy there. So have I explained everything in a way that makes sense, or do you have a few questions on a few things?
No, it's making sense so far.
Okay, so the next point of thing is how we get paid. So is any fees and charges. Sorry, so the fees and charges on the investment side of things. So you've got ongoing costs with the car park. So that's 1920 on an estimated loan cost. So you've got ongoing maintenance costs as well too. With the shares, you've got you got a 2% ICR fee, and then combining that with a management fee, which is a maximum of 1.25%. So they're the fees you're looking at in regards to the investment side of things. With the statement of advice fee, we have a fee for obviously the statement of advice, which you've already paid of that $2,000, and we've got our implementation fee of $2,000 to obviously set up the correct side of things, invest your super as per your risk profile, start the ball rolling on the debt reduction plan, things like that as well too. And then obviously from an ongoing point of view, monitoring that relationship and things going forward. So that ongoing advice fee is $1,500 a year. So there's also other fees and charges from the solicitor in preparation of your estate planning documents. The mortgage broker as well may charge a fee, but generally they just take a commission from the banks, from the lenders and that side of things there too.
Okay, and all these fees come out of my superannuation?
Yeah, so obviously the ongoing car park costs, that will come out of your income.
Okay,
You make from there. Obviously you'll be paying that. Any costs will net off against your income, which will be tax deductible.
Alright.
When you do come to your gross side of things, any investments inside the managed fund will come out of the cash portion of that managed fund. The ongoing advice fee will come out of your pocket, and the implementation fee will come out of your pocket. So the ongoing advice fee and implementation fee is also a tax deductible side of things as well there for you too.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, so if you're happy with the recommendations and what I've spoken about today, I can start. The process from here would be you base signing the authority to proceed, based on understanding the advice in its entirety. From there, we'll start setting up and making the agreed upon investments. We'll commence your salary sacrifice program, facilitate the well estate planning process as well there too, with the debt reduction side of things. We'll outline what needs to be done there as well too. And once all the recommendations have been implemented, we'll send you a confirmation letter detailing the summary of your new position, and from there we'll monitor and review your advice on a half-yearly basis, so to make sure that everything's tracking and going as per plan, because there are things that change from time to time as well too, which does mean we do have to alter and make amendments to our strategy and plan. So in order to get started with the recommendations and act on your behalf, I'll need you both to sign the authority to proceed. Once you've signed that, you've got 7 days to pay the implementation fee of $2,000. Then we're off and running and getting things implemented. So depending on how that, we're sort of looking at a time frame of anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks to get everything implemented. So how does that sound?
Yeah, really good.
Really good?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So I'd like to thank both you guys for your time today, and I hope everything I've gone through, I've obviously covered a fair bit of content as well too. You've got a copy of the statement of advice you can read through, you can look at our projections as well too, a copy of the PDSs. I've also got for you as well too, that I'll send over to you as well. So if you've got any questions, please let me know. And I will obviously maintain contact with you throughout the implementation process. There may be specific requirements that we need to go backwards and forwards on, but that's just double checking, making sure we're ticking all the right boxes with everything today. So other from that, thanks again for your time, and I will speak with you guys very soon.
Beautiful. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.